Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into the channel. As you probably already know, this whole pandemic thing has been going on all over the world. People are freaking out, people are losing their jobs, people are getting sick. We all hope that this ends soon. For the time being, all we can do is stay home, learn a new skill, help each other, and just spend time with family. Now, in this video, we're going to be talking about stocks for beginners in 2020. Now, this is the perfect time to invest in stock, as a lot of stocks right now are dropping or have dropped significantly compared to other times in the year or other times in the market. Now, these are just going to be 10 basic tips for beginners of how to invest in the stock market. So, let's get started. My first tip for investing in stocks for beginners is to use an app called Robinhood. It is a free trading app that allows you to trade straight from your iPhone or Android. You can also trade from a web browser, like on Google Chrome, Firefox, Safari, or any other supported web browser that you have installed on your computer. Now, Robinhood is free to use. You just have to deposit some money into your Robinhood account, select the stocks you want to purchase, and simply go through the process of purchasing those stocks. The second tip I recommend for beginners that want to start investing in the stock market is to learn to read charts. Now, this is very important because if you don't know how to read charts, you are most likely going to fail. There are many aspects of reading a stock chart. For example, comparing time frames from 1 week, 3 months, 1 year, even possibly 5 years. Just knowing how to read the stock chart is very important when investing. There's also PE ratio, volume, day high, day low, open price, close price, the previous close, and dividends. There's many things you should know about when investing in the stock market, but those are just a few examples of what you should look out for. Now, as this is a beginner's video, we're not going to go in depth about the stock market or how to trade exactly and the techniques to use, but we are going to touch on a few tips and pointers of how to invest in the stock market. The third tip I recommend is to invest in companies you actually care about. Investing in companies you care about is pretty important. For example, if you're in the tech space, you might want to look into Apple, Google, Amazon, but those are very, very expensive stocks. Some cheaper ones might include Snapchat, Groupon, or some other similar stocks. Obviously, only investing in companies you care about shouldn't be your only game plan, but it should definitely be something you are aware of. Now, the fourth tip is pretty obvious. Buy low, sell high. Of course, everyone knows this, but a lot of people might get caught up with their emotions in the stock market. So, for example, if you see, let's say, Snapchat coming down in price per share, you might purchase 50 to 100 shares. But how do you know if it's not going to drop even further? I mean, it could go up in price, you're right, but you're not for sure, and that's just the name of the game. You should definitely do research prior to purchasing this stock before it drops even more and before you lose even more money. The fifth step is to diversify. Now, you guys all probably know the saying, never put all your eggs in one basket. Well, that's true for stocks as well. Diversifying your portfolio is very important. You might purchase 100 shares of, let's say, Snapchat. You might also purchase another 50 shares of Apple, and then maybe another 20 or 25 shares of Caterpillar or Waste Management. Now, those are obviously simple examples, but the point I'm trying to make is diversify and don't spend all your money in one stock. For example, if you have $5,000 to put into the stock market, don't just use all that money to purchase one stock. What you want to do is diversify, so you use that money towards different stocks in the stock market. Now, the sixth thing on the list is to invest long-term. Short-term investments are great, but that's also known as day trading or swing trading. Now, long-term investments is where you buy a stock, you hold it for a long period of time, and then you sell it. Now, when you sell it, you're obviously going to try to make money off of it, so you would sell at a higher price than what you got it for. Now, there is a PDT rule, also known as a pattern day trader rule. That rule basically states that if you don't have a minimum of $25,000 in your account, then you cannot day trade. So what is day trading? Day trading is simply buying a stock on one day and selling it the same day. Now, What you can do is you can make a maximum of 3 day trades in a 5-day period. That's pretty much less than 1 day trade a day. When you're starting out to invest in the stock market as a beginner, you obviously don't want to make a ton of day trades if you're not familiar with how the stock market works. So that's why I suggest investing long term. So basically holding the stock for a long period of time, maybe a few months, maybe even a few years, and letting that grow and then selling it later on. So the 7th tip is to not use emotions. Do not use emotions when you're trading on the stock market. Why? Because emotions get in the way. Now, if you own your own business, you know you should never make decisions upon your emotions. When emotions get in the way, things can be devastating. Always use facts and the knowledge you have up here, and make sure you do your research online. Now, the 8th tip is to invest in what you know. Now, if you're not very familiar with a company, even though you might like that company and know about that company a lot, if you don't know how their financial situation is, or if you don't really know that much about that specific company when it comes to stocks, or if their stock price is going to grow or not, then a suggestion would be to invest in a company that you know more about. Now, obviously, if you don't know about any companies, I would do the research. There's a lot of resources on YouTube, Google, Investopedia. There's a lot of resources out there that will basically help you grow your portfolio. So we've been talking a lot about research and knowing what you're getting yourself into. Well, the 9th tip is to do your research and read the news. It can be almost any trusted and verifiable news source. The best ones I've found to be are Bloomberg, MarketWatch, and Wall Street Journal. Now, obviously, those are not the only sites I use, but if you're just starting out, you might want to take a look at those sites. Now, the news can help you make better decisions as to if you want to buy the stock or possibly even sell the stock. It can also give you some updates as to how the company is doing financially and if you should be prepared for if something might happen to that company's stock price in the future. Now, the 10th thing to keep in mind when investing in stocks as a beginner is to know that there is no get-rich-quick scheme. Obviously, if you're investing in the stock market, you probably already know that. Don't expect to make a ton of money when you're just starting out, especially if you're not day trading. Is it possible to make a ton of money when investing in stocks? Of course, that's why people do it. But one thing to keep in mind is if you have the mentality of trying to make quick bucks in a short period of time, it's probably not going to work out for you. Now, those are the 10 things beginner investors should know. Now, as you start this journey, make sure to do your research and make sure you know what you're getting yourself into. I hope this video has helped you, and if it did, please subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up, and make sure to share it with your friends. If you have any questions, make sure to leave it down in the comments below, and I'll be putting out a lot more videos about business, money, finance, entrepreneurship, real estate, life, cars, and much more. So stay tuned, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.